other people come here and take these political seats and make decisions for us. So yeah, I agree with that.
What's up, family?
What's good, Flex? What's good, family?
Okay. So what's the actual argument today? What's the actual debate point today?
What's up, King Flex? What's up with you, player?
I'm good. How y'all doing, fam?
The argument today is, I'm noticing in our spaces, in our Secure the Tribe and FBA spaces, we have people that are torn because they have mixed, heritage, and they're actually directing or, taking the conversation away from what it initially started out as, where it was centered on Black Americans gatekeeping, Black American culture, and I'm seeing how a lot of people they're more, making the focal point about your, what is your tribe, right? And just forgetting about, it seems like they want us to just go away from being Black American. This house we built, all this shit that we built, just go away from that and just focus on your tribe. And I'm saying, no, it's not just about being, your tribe. It's about connecting your tribe to being Black American, because how will I know you're a Black American if I don't know your tribe? So
Right.
yeah, I just feel like, they're hijacking what this movement was about 2 months ago. Like when you was in that space and you was frying motherfuckers up and you was like tearing them, like you was going in on them not being us. That's
Right.
what this was about. It was about us securing our tribe. And I feel like now, after like the fire has kind of sizzled down a little, you got these tethers trying to shoehorn their way in and take it away from what it was about initially. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the thing is, when we as foundational Black Americans, the minute we start acknowledging our tribe, because we are a specific tribe and we are a specific ethnic group. And now that we've acknowledged that, you got all of these other people, they've turned into de facto genealogists, they've turned into scientists, they've turned into archaeologists. All of a sudden, they want to start talking about DNA, genealogy, fossils, hair samples, sperm samples. Now they want to get into science. If we get into science, like I said, it's very simple. Everybody's lineage will go back to Europe, Africa, or Asia. That's for everybody. That's too broad. We as foundational Black Americans, we are a very distinct group. Tribal groups and ethnic groups come about in many different ways. When you look at certain Native American tribes, usually these are different federations of Aboriginal people, Mongoloid Indians, Aboriginal Black Indians coming together and being labeled and named by colonizers to a certain degree. When you look at the Navajo Indians, that's not their real name. That was a name given to them by the Spanish. I think Navajo means thief or something like that. The Creek Indians, and I pointed this out before, there was no such thing as a Creek Indian until the white supremacists saw some Native Americans living by a creek and said, hey, you guys are Creek Indians. There was no such thing as Seminole Indians until the Yamasee and other indigenous people and people who were enslaved went down into Florida, got with the lower creeks, and became the Seminoles. So different ethnic groups form by other groups getting together. We are no different from that as foundational Black Americans. People keep trying to Africanize us, because when you Africanize us, that makes us comparable to other immigrant groups. We are the only non-immigrant group here. That makes us extremely unique. Nobody can compare themselves to us. And when we start looking at just not our African lineage, but our indigenous lineage, that becomes a problem, because now we have a claim to the land that nobody wants to talk about. When we start claiming this land, which is our land, let's be very clear, we're not guests in this country as foundational Black Americans. This whole narrative that we were brought to America, we were not brought to America. We built America. That's a real big difference. That makes us indigenous to the United States, because we built the place, ladies and gentlemen. We are not comparable to any immigrant group. We have a very unique heritage. We are different from other people, and that's just something that they're going to have to deal with. They know that we're different because they have all types of negative and pejorative terms that they use against us. Now that we look at our lineage and our uniqueness as something positive, now we're not letting ourselves be invisible for some type of fake melting pot narrative that we're the only ones upholding. No other group upholds this melting pot diversity narrative than us. We've been holding that up, and everybody has been exploiting that for the last 200 years.
And that goes for those, Central America, South America, those Caribbeans, because I'm noticing now that we're saying we are the indigenous or the Indian. Now you got those tethers from down in the Caribbean trying to shoehorn the same thing the Africans did with Black American. Now I'm noticing like they're starting to do with us saying that we're, you know, foundational Black American. They're trying to get in by saying they're indigenous and they're Indian, so they're us now. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
we
Right.
start to we have to actually start, you
Hey,
know,
hold on. Yeah,
delineating
'cause we ain't
like
gonna do that,
the
brother.
lines have been drawn and we're
We
not
ain't
erasing
gonna do
those
that,
lines.
brother. We
Okay,
ain't gonna do that.
can I
She
speak?
here. Can we let her speak? Since she
Yeah,
here, she can
I'm
speak
here.
for
I'm
herself.
here. This entire
And this is not just about her, so
no, no,
it's not just
it
about you.
is,
So don't make it about
it
you.
is,
Please
it is.
don't.
You've
Hold
mentioned
on,
my
hold on.
name.
Let me put some clarity real quick.
Okay.
It's really real quick. The thing is really because of the American Indian thing. They want us to drop black and just identify as American Indian. And basically, how I see it, it almost is no different from African American. Because if you go American Indian,
At all,
you
bro. At
you
all.
lashing on Central America, South America,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
everybody in the
Right.
Caribbean
Right.
Islands.
Okay.
It's
Right.
no
Okay.
different.
Can I?
Now I'm gonna let you respond.
And
Yeah, I
that's
just
what I
want to put the
noticed.
clarity on it. I just want to put that
Okay.
out there. But you can respond though.
All right. I've listened to y'all for the past 15 minutes. Okay. All right. When I came into your space, all right, and let me make this clear. Twitter Spaces has been going on since November. All right.
Hey,
What's this getting? What's
your,
hold
get,
on. Let me speak.
You see where it's going, right?
Let me
get
speak.
your
Hold on.
point.
Let me speak. Hold on. Let me
Your point.
speak. Let me speak. Come on. Let's be respectful. We're gonna have a conversation. I made an American Indian room back in November. This is when Twitter Spaces was in beta trial. Wasn't enough people on Twitter Spaces yet because it wasn't on everybody's app yet, right? We was already on Clubhouse doing this stuff. We was already on YouTube doing this stuff. I assisted Big Chief Top Cats because, like I told him, I have an American Indian story and I do have a West Indian story. Now, I'm going to come around you and talk about my American Indian story. I've always made that my focal point because that's who raised me in this country. My West Indian family are in their country, as they should be. My American Indian story is documented by New York State. We have our own website. Documented. We have our own town. Documented. We are the Puspatuck Indians that mix with the Mohawk. Documented. I wanted to tell my side of my history because a lot of people don't know about the quote unquote Black Indians of New England and how we went through slavery too, and how we went through paper genocide and the land grab too. We went through that too. So my grandmother and her story don't get told either. So what I did was take my opportunity, and right now I'm pregnant, okay? So I really didn't have to start doing this stuff no more. But I continued because I saw the awakening happening. I believe in what Top Cats was doing. I didn't mind. I don't have to share my lineage with nobody. This is personal for me. But I posted pictures of my ancestors. My ancestor was one of the first Harlem Globetrotters, a Mohawk Indian. I am a part of the what you call the foundation. There was a foundation here before the European even came here, because that Constitution that come from my tribe people. We were on those first treaties in the 1600s. We are first contact nations up here. We got hit with the bullshit first. So I felt it was time to tell the story about the quote unquote Black Indians of the New England area. This ain't had shit to do with the West Indian side. Y'all kept making it about that. Every
Hey,
time I came in your room, y'all kept talking about
She's not getting anywhere right
yeah.
now.
Let,
what about your husband? What about your West Indian? I said, well, what
hey,
about
hey,
it?
Sonny, I gotta respond. Let me say something real
No,
quick.
no, because
Like
y'all not.
I never
Are y'all
mentioned her
gonna
No,
be
husband.
no,
I don't know why
respectful?
I never mentioned her
Are y'all
husband
gonna
one
be
time. Like why
respectful?
she been bringing that? Why are
Well,
you
why,
bring that
why?
up?
Because y'all talking about me without saying my name, but y'all saying my name all over Twitter.
You're
Mel,
not getting
you
to the
you
point
saying
was.
my
though.
Come on,
name
Get to
on
the
man.
point,
Twitter.
please.
Dear,
Hold on. I just want to keep this professional and just straight to the point because I don't really want to waste nobody good time on a Sunday, and I got my brother Flex in here. Flex, the only thing, so just to boil everything down to and make everything digestible, we shouldn't have to drop black, you know what I mean, and
Right.
be FBA or be American Indian.
Okay, so let me explain this, and I'm gonna finish up right here. Inside the indigenous community, we have a different type of conversation. I understand that. And even the last time I came in your space, I said it's probably going to take time for us to get to this point. Because the indigenous conversation, we're trying to get back sovereignty. So it's not just about reparations. We're trying to get restitution so we can get our land back. Because
It's
we're
deeper.
not
It's
in the
deeper than
okay.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Can I say this though?
Bro, like you guys
We
got it.
hear
Come
you, but
on.
you missed out something. It's also
I'm
about
not missing out
gatekeeping.
on
It's
nothing.
about
I'm
us
not missing out
gatekeeping.
on
It's not just
nothing.
about reparations for us. It's about gatekeeping our culture.
Okay, but
And
then
you're missing
guess
that.
what? You can get. I don't want your culture. I have my own tribe. I don't want it.
Just don't leave that
I
out
don't
while you
want it. I
just while
don't
you
want it.
All
articulate
right,
your
y'all. Let me say this
Nobody
perspectives.
here.
wants
Then
it.
we're gonna pass the mic back to
Wow.
Flex. Let me say this. We're gonna pass the
Nobody's
mic
trying
back
to
to
take the
Flex.
culture. What are they talking about?
That's all good, sis. This the thing, man. The genealogy aspect of it, man, that we brought to it was to help out the claim because FBA and ADOS had a reparations claim. So, in order to help that out to see exactly what was owed to you, we asked that you do your family genealogy. Not necessarily, even if it tie you back to an Indian tribe, because the Europeans that came here were black. It was different melanin. The Spaniards were black. That was in Florida, Texas, Louisiana. I know because they were my family. So that was the only part of the genealogy was to help identify your claim, what was taken for you, so you can know what was owed. That was
Hey,
it. It was simple. You
what
don't
real,
have to
real
drop the
And
black.
we respect that. I respect that. Like
no,
I'm
hold on,
100% behind that,
hold
bro.
on, bro. Hold on, bro. This conversation going to somewhere with bro. The point of this conversation was about FBA dropping black. This really what this was about. Should we drop black?
Yes.
This is about everything else about Jenny. I mean, we do all that, we understand that, but this was about dropping black. And we're saying we don't have to drop black. We shouldn't drop black. Just so other people can pick the shit up. It's like that's what we're talking about.
That
It's like,
girl,
Exactly.
Shan told us to drop black, but she gets to keep her Jamaican heritage.
I'm
She
not.
wants us to drop
How is a heritage the same as a race?
my recorded
Black
space.
is a race.
You told me to drop black, but you still can claim
I didn't
you're
tell
Jamaican.
you nothing. I don't know.
Yes,
I never
yes,
talked to
you did.
you.
I
I've
asked
never
you.
talked to you.
Black is a
I've
race
never
for
talked
black
to you.
American.
Hold on, family. I don't want to turn this into love and Twitter Spaces. Let's just cut down to the meat and potatoes.
Told us to drop black, but she claims she can keep Jamaican.
Hey, let me say this here, bro.
Bullshit, bro.
I'm gonna speak for the American
Man,
Indian
Taylor,
stuff.
bro. You
Hey,
fucking
let me say this, Mel, because you
These
my
dudes
little
are
homie,
crazy,
bro.
though.
We is no dropping black, bro. When y'all asked me to come over here, y'all was foundational black Americans. I came, bro, because I identify with being a foundational black American. When the room jumped off, I was there. You feel me? Y'all don't have to drop black. My cousin's black, my family black. All of us in this motherfucker got families that identify with black. We don't have to drop that, bro. That's coming from me, bro.
and now
And
Big
we
Chief,
move on
though, bro.
as a family.
No, bro, Big Chief and Shan, this is nothing because listen, this is not about you. This conversation of blackness been going on.
Shan ain't saying what he's
Wait,
saying.
hold on, bro. Bro, this conversation of blackness been going on, dealing with the Moors. Everybody been saying it don't have no weight, no standing in law and all that shit. This conversation been needed to happen. Shan, this is not about you. This shit been going on. So you just came on to Twitter and start, I guess, whatever, it feels some type of way, but this is not about you. This is nothing personal. This is a conversation that needed to happen. And we saying we shouldn't have to drop black. If we go to American Indian, we're going to include a whole bunch of motherfuckers that don't need to be included. It's really that simple. That's all we saying. That's why FBA is perfect. It's specific. I don't understand how people not getting that shit.
Can I go? Because I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut
Hold on,
Tariq off.
go ahead,
Yeah,
Flex.
yeah.
Yeah, and I agree. When we shouldn't drop black, if we start going with just the Native American or American Indian thing, that's going to include all the white $5 Indians. The American Indian thing that has been completely co-opted at this point. Every white person claims to be some type of American Indian at this point. Almost every white person you meet who's been here for a certain amount of decades, they're going to claim they got some type of Creek or Cherokee. So that's already spoiled. So we shouldn't even touch that. But we do acknowledge that we do have Aboriginal lineage. But us using the title of American Indian, that's a dead issue right now. The FBA thing is the way to go because we've locked it up and nobody can remix it. That's why so many people have a problem with it, because it's a very exclusionary title, which is what we should have been doing. That's specific to black people who were on these plantations in America. Nobody can remix it. We were aggrieved as a black group, and we need to be compensated as a black group. It's that simple.
Can I go now, please?
Go ahead, Kiana. You got it.
Thank you. Thank you, Tariq. And the host Sonny Booby and Big Chief. Shout out to Mel. What I wanted to say is that I've been noticing with Black, even FBA now, there are people who have been so entitled to our culture that they are now treating this like it's some type of membership or like it's some type of club. Like they are not getting that this is a lineage. You know, we had a conversation with someone last night who was saying, well, I was adopted by FBA, so that by default makes me a FBA. And then, you know, we get these people to come over, well, I was born here in America, so I technically I'm a FBA. And I'm just finding that to be a problem because they're not looking at the fact that our lineage is or our culture is what it is because of the very, very specific experiences that our ancestors went through to create this lineage. And I just find that to be very, very dishonest and very disrespectful when people come over here and they treat our lineage and our culture like it's some type of club they can join without their people having to put in even half the work that our people had to put in.
Yeah, that's them finessing. They know very much what we're doing. They know good and well that it's a lineage because we keep explaining that it's a lineage. The problem is because we're on code, and that's the power of being on code, nobody can do anything about it. If you acknowledge your lineage and you are codified with other people about your lineage, can't nobody do a damn thing about it. And because they're powerless to do anything about us being on code, they have to compartmentalize and remix what FBA is by talking about, well, who can join? Are there leaders? They're trying to act like it's some type of four-wall organization, knowing good and well that it's not. So that's a desperation move from a lot of these people because they cannot do anything about us acknowledging our lineage because now we've made a power move. We did something that a lot of groups don't do. We've named ourselves. When you name yourself, that's one of the first steps of taking control of power. We've designated ourselves and we set the rules to who we are. That's a power move. And this is why we have so many eyes on us right now because they're like, okay, where are they about to go with this? Because when you start making moves like that, you start making decisions that's going to empower your group. That's why so many people are very nervous now. All of these people who are non-FBA, they're all of a sudden they want to get on a kumbaya thing. Oh, we brothers, we all in this together. When you were the main ones calling us Akatas and Jareers and Abids and Yankees and all of these derogatory names. So now everybody want to get some damn act right. So they're just going to have to deal with us acknowledging our lineage. That's what it is. And there is no end game because we always hear that narrative. What's the end goal to this? Because what they're saying is they want us to stop at some point. They think that this is some kind of phase or some kind of trend. And this is not. This is a lifestyle. This is where we are and this is what it is. And people are going to have to deal with that.